So what's up? It's Morton 225 here. Today we're having a look at the Neca Ultimate Dream Sequence Jason. So stay tuned. So this is the Ultimate Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning Dream Sequence Jason Voorhees. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say this figure is nothing more than a repaint of the Part 4 Jason, which unfortunately I don't have right now, but I do plan on getting soon. But so as always, let's start off with his accessories. So starting off with his most obvious accessory, the machete. And now if you're wondering why my finger looks a little dirty, it's because I've been working on some mowers and stuff like that, so I couldn't get all that oil out of my finger right there. So there's a little bit still there. But anyway, getting back to the point, you can see it's a pretty standard machete. I think it is a different machete than the one that came with the Par 4 Jason. Unfortunately, I don't have that one to compare it to, but as you can see, pretty cool. It's got two separate pieces for the handle there, which is pretty cool. And it's also a flat black, or kind of a little bit glossy, with some silver rivets, like it's holding the handle on the grips onto the the hilt of the blade. So that's pretty cool. Now, Jason can hold the machete in his hand like so, as you can see, which does look a little weird, but I mean he holds it okay. Actually, I mean, you got on display a bit. I mean that'd be hard to notice. It is a little bit loose, as you can see, because this hand was intended for the hacksaw accessory of the Part 4 Jason, so that's why it kind of holds, just a little bit weird, but still pretty cool accessory. The next accessory is this ice pick, which he did use in the dream sequence part of the movie, where the two grave diggers dug him up, and then he pulled this ice pick out of nowhere and stuck it in the guy's throat. So a pretty cool accessory. I don't know if this came with any other figure. I mean, I could be wrong, but still, pretty cool though. It's got a brown handle, and then this part and the pick itself is kind of got like a metal paint to it, which looks pretty cool. And this is kind of sharp. It does hurt if you poke something with it, so cause it's a little bit sharp, as you can see, but still pretty cool accessory. Last, for the weapons that he comes with, is this double bit axe, which is the same axe that the Part 4 one came with, but I think the Part 4 axe was clean, but this one's got blood on it, as you can see. The blood's a little bit different, so you see there's a little more silver on this side than the other, and you see it's got a pretty cool shape to it. Now this wasn't in the first dream sequence. This was uh, where Tommy was seeing Jason inside of his room. He was holding this bloody axe, which goes with this other head over here. I'll show you in just a minute. But as you can see, the handle has got like a cool wood grain effect to it, which is pretty cool. And now Roy did use an axe in the movie, but he didn't actually come with an axe. So if you wanted to, you could give him this axe and recreate Lana's death in the movie. Now he comes with an alternate hand with the machete split from Part 4, which I don't know if he actually had this in the dream sequence. I mean, I'll have to go back and rewatch the film, but as you can see, there's some painted blood, going down his hand, and he's got the nasty fingernails from Part 4, which are not painted, which because uh, in the movie, in the dream sequence in the beginning, it didn't actually have the nasty fingernails, but as you can see, pretty cool hand. Still, it's really dirty and nasty. As you can see, a lot of like I said, there's a lot of the crevices that are kind of gray and nasty, and you can recreate that part of the movie with the machete if you want to. You can stick this in between his fingers and recreate that from the movie or Part 4. He also comes with three alternate heads. One which this one comes on him in the package because where the package is, it looks like he's buried. Which unfortunately the package I do have it, but it's down in storage somewhere. So unfortunately I couldn't show you that. I couldn't find it. I'll have to dig through it and find it all. But anyways, getting back to the point, you see this. I wish they would have done removable masks instead of alternate heads. But I mean, this ain't too bad. I don't guess. I mean, he wouldn't unmask this movie like this anyway. But as you can see, this is where he was first dug up, and he had the worms hanging out of the eye holes of the mask and stuff, which I don't explain with his head. But that's still pretty cool. All the paint looks like it's flaked off the mask just about it. And the snaps are underneath the mask instead on top, which looks a little weird. But that's the way it was in the beginning of the movie, the dream sequence. But you see there's a chevron right there. Pretty cool detailed head. Now you got this second alternate head, which is where Tommy was seeing Jason in his room, and also at the end of the movie, where Tommy finds Roy's mask in his hospital room. But as you can see, this mask is painted, tan, and the snaps are on the outside, unlike the other two, which and one of the heads is actually on Jason, which I'll show you that head when we review to go over the details and stuff. But you can see the snaps go all the way around. There's blood all down the side of his head right there, which there's also the slit in the mask there, which you can recreate the axe wound from part 3 if you desire to do that, as you can see. But I don't think this ever was like this in the dream sequences in the movie. So, which I've seen some people take this head and put it on their part 4 Jason, which does look pretty cool and matches that body a little better, because we'll go over why it matches the part 4 body a little better here in a minute or so. Okay, so the last head he comes with is, now this is not a mask that he wore in the movie. This is a promotional image for part 5, and because this is like an actual hockey mask. This is kind of like the one that guy wore in what was that movie called? Christmas Vacation, I think. And also the same mask worn by Lord Humongous in Mad Max: The Road Warrior. Which, if you wanted to, you could take this head and make a custom Lord Humongous. Yeah, because Lord Humongous had stringy hair hanging off the back of his head too, like Jason. But still pretty cool. Now I don't explain with this because it looks weird on the body, but still pretty cool accessory. The last accessory he comes with is his tombstone. Now this is the part 5 version where it's made out of wood planks and stuff and has his name on it. There's also dirt at the bottom there where it's been placed in. There's also some boards holding it together here with some rusted rivets, which looks pretty cool. And now I usually display this on myself, sitting with this Jason. So pretty cool accessory. Now this is a lot different from the part 6 tombstone, as you can see. Bring that in for comparison, and which I like this tombstone better because it's more like a tombstone. This is part of a fence that somebody may went out of, but still pretty cool. So let's go over his articulation. He has pretty standard articulation for these Neca figures, these ultimate ones. He's got a ball joint at the head there, a hinge and swivel at his shoulder, a hinge and swivel at the elbow. A little bit of wrist articulation there. Also got some waist articulation and probably some ab articulation in there, which is kind of hindered by his shirt. But as you can see, he's got some pretty good hip articulation with the Doppler piece. He's also got a hinged knee and a little bit of ankle articulation there. So let's go over the details of this figure, starting with his head. And as you can see, this is the head I display him with, and this is the standard, like the hockey mask head where he gets out of the grave. He doesn't have the worms on his face there anymore. But as you can see, the paint, like the other one with the worms, is kind of worn off, and because he's been buried for quite some time. But as you can see, this is basically from the head down is basically a part 4 Jason with different paint apps. This one is painted with kind of like a gloss to make it look wet, because again in the movie he's standing out in the rain and he's soaked, so that looks pretty cool actually. It makes him look a little bit different from the part 4 Jason, which like the part 4 Jason, he has kind of like the pot belly look there, as you can see, and you can see the shirt he's wearing is too small for him because the sleeves don't go all the way down. He took this off of somebody in part 3, so it's not going to fit him right because it's just somebody else's clothes. But as you can see, it's a green work shirt, and you can see it's got a lot of wrinkles, pockets there and stuff. Pretty cool. You can see his back is kind of misshapen too, as you can see, and see the back of the head, just like the other one, just got the stringy hair, the marks from the wounds from part 3 and part 4, and some silver buckles on the straps there with some glossy black, and his neck is all wrinkled and dirty looking, and going down to his hands there, as you can see, this hand on the part 4 figure was made to hold the hacksaw accessory, which this figure doesn't come with. See, this is the normal hand that doesn't have the cut, which is what I usually keep on. I don't remember ever having the split hand in the dream sequences. And going down to his pants are pretty filthy looking and wet, as you can see. They had a lot of detail to make them look dirty and nasty, because he has been buried in this dream sequence, and like I said, they're all wet looking because he's been being rained on. These are in part 3 he had kind of gray pants, and then in part 4 they're brown, which the color change, I'm not sure, maybe they just got really dirty or something, because I'm sure Jason doesn't have very good hygiene, not living living kind of homeless. But as you can see, his boots are same as the other ones, and see, not a whole lot of detail. Some silver buckles and stuff, and some wrinkles, and pretty cool boots. Okay, so for comparison time, here he is compared to the Roy Burns figure, the only other figure from this movie so far, and which I can't wait to do a review on the figure because I have a lot to say, and because I really like that figure. And now I did do the dream sequence one, and at first as kind of like a like a teaser, I guess, but still when we get to that Roy Burns, well, that's gonna be a good one. So what do I think of this figure overall? I like this figure now. It's mostly just reused parts. I mean, there's not a whole lot new here, except for some of the heads with the different masks and the tombstone piece, of course. But everything else, I believe, is reused from other figures. But now the masks, like I said, are a little bit different. But the two for this specific look are, but the worms and this head are different skulls, but the other ones are reused and you know but I still like this figure. It represents what we've seen of actual Jason in Part Five, which we didn't see a whole lot of because he was supposed to be dead in that movie. Then Part Six came, which brought Jason back, which I do have that figure too, which I'll review soon. So if you like this video, you want to like it, give me a thumbs up. That helps me out. Don't cost you all a penny, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time.